Hello and welcome to the Night Feed. I'm your host, Charlotte, here to bring you some company during, let's face it, one of the toughest parts of being a new parent, the Night Feed. Tonight's unpaid sponsor is mixing the clean laundry with the dirty laundry. You do a whole load, or two or three. You fold half of it. The baby cries. You put the baby down for 1 second, and suddenly it's 9 p.m. and you're standing there sniff testing a vest or a sock. Was this worn or is this clean? Is this milk or food or just fluff from the dryer? Is there a bigger pet peeve as a mum? I'm already behind on putting the clean washing away. And then in the chaos of bedtime the other night, some, or quite a lot actually, got mixed up with the dirty pile on the floor. I nearly did drop to my knees in despair, but I pushed through. I remembered this meme that I saw on Instagram, and it's a woman from the 1800s standing in a river using a washboard for a laundry saying, "Really, bitch?" And I like to recall this meme when I'm on the verge of a laundry breakdown. And I check myself and I thank my lucky stars that I was born in 1989 and not 1899. How are we? I am putting it out there. I'm not great today. It has been about 4 nights of extremely broken sleep. My 7-month-old, I think, is teething. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. But we're having those nights where he just wants to be held. He just wants to be held, and he seems to wake every hour to every 2 hours. And I don't know if it's just because I'm a few years older than when I had my first, but these broken nights are doing things to me. I was not in a good place this morning when I woke up. Sleep deprivation is tough, isn't it? And I know I'm preaching to the choir. I know that you'll all go through this. Hence why I thought I'd share it, because motherhood is easy to sugarcoat, but when you are in the depths of sleep deprivation, it is tough. And I've just got over this awful flu, and you wake up all groggy and you're like, no, I'm not getting ill again. But I just thought I'd share that. If you are having very regular wake-ups at the moment, you're not alone. And coffee is king. Hook me up to an IV. I watched a lovely film the other night. Well, it was the other morning at 5 a.m. actually, when the baby woke and he wasn't going down. He wasn't going back to sleep. And I thought, rather than let him wake the girls up, I'll come downstairs and I'll just play and whatever. So I put a film on in the background, and it's called Goodbye June. You might have seen it on Netflix. I think it was written by Kate Winslet's son, and it's directed by Kate Winslet. And it's one of those movies that everybody, I think, can relate to. It's about old age. And if you don't want any spoilers and you want to watch the film, skip a few minutes ahead, because I'm going to go into some spoilers. But yeah, it's about old age. It's about an ailing old lady who has cancer and is given just like days, I think, to live over Christmas. And it's about how all the family rally together, how the siblings that have fallen out, that they, and there's all those kind of family dynamics that a lot of families have. And I think everybody watching it will relate to one character or the situation or something. And it was the end that got me. Again, it's not really a big spoiler. It's still worth watching. It is a lovely kind of sad but upbeat but funny but witty kind of feel good but very emotional film, if that makes sense. And at the end, there is a baby born after the grandmother passes away. And the end is kind of the grandmother reading this letter to the new baby. And it got me in the gut really hard, because in every one of my 3 pregnancies, I've lost someone really, really special. So in my first pregnancy, it's my granddad. He passed away about 3 months before my first baby was born. So he knew I was pregnant, and we had that realization that he wasn't going to meet the baby. And I remember the last thing he said to me was, look after that baby. Oh, God, it gets me. And then with my second, I lost my dance teacher, who was like another grandmother to me, very, very close, knew everything about me, was like a life mentor, you know, them people that just gets you. And she was so into ballet like I was, well, I am, and just one of those special people. She passed away when I was pregnant with my second. And then I remember getting pregnant with my third baby. And one of the first thoughts that came to my mind was, please no. I don't want to lose anyone else. Not please no to the pregnancy, just please no, don't anybody close to me die, because it happened twice already. And then 6 months before my baby boy was born, we lost my lovely uncle, who again was a very special person in our lives and very close to my kids. So this monologue at the end, about the grandmother not meeting the baby, but kind of being there and, you know, coming back as snow and watching over. Oh, gosh, it got me. And there I was, playing with the baby at like 6 a.m, crying. Oh, God. Do you know what? This podcast is just sometimes an emotional wreck, isn't it? I think I just come on here and just like share every raw emotion that a mother can feel. But yeah, I'd recommend the film. I think it's like a very touching, kind of feel good but emotional film. Oh no, this delivery driver just pulled up. No. Anyway, it's all good. So moving on, I found an article about comedy clubs for mums, and I just thought I've got to share this with you. And it's basically something that is apparently sweeping the UK at the moment. And the idea being that mums of new babies, under 18 months it is, can't get to comedy clubs. They can't go out of an evening really, especially in the first few months, and have a laugh. So someone has come up with the idea to create these mum comedy clubs that happen in the day, and you go along with your baby, and the comedians are also mums that stand on stage with their baby. And it's just meant to be a real good laugh. You can imagine, can't you, just other mums stood up doing a comedy sketch about being a new mum, and how almost cathartic that probably is to watch when you're in the same boat. And apparently it's just like really chill, everyone can feed, babies can cry, there's like soft mats for the babies to play on. And I just thought I'd share that. I've looked at the website. I'll have to put in the link because I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head. I'll have to put in the website in the podcast description. But it's a lot of them are in the south of England, I've seen, but there is one in Chorlton at the Edge Theatre if you're local to Manchester. And I know I have listeners all around the world, so it's worth looking wherever you live for mum and baby comedy clubs, because I just think that's such a good idea. You know, take your mum friend with you, take your babies, have a laugh, you know, let your hair down in the middle of the day when you're looking after your baby anyway. And I just thought it's really good because it kind of switches the focus to mum, because a lot of the baby classes and baby groups we go to are for the baby. You know, baby sensory, play group, all these kind of baby focused groups, whereas this kind of flips it on its head and it's for the mum to have a laugh. And I just really like it, and I thought I'd share. Okay, on to the emails. First email, subject is I've lost myself. Okay. Hi, I'm writing this at 3:14 a.m. precisely while my baby feeds, because it feels like the only quiet moment I've had all day. I love my baby, I really do, but I wasn't prepared for how much I would disappear when she arrived. Everyone told me I'd be tired. No one told me I might feel like a stranger in my own life. Some nights I scroll through photos of who I was before and I feel guilty for missing her. Other nights I cry for no clear reason at all and then feel worse because I think I should be grateful. The thought motherhood would feel instinctive, natural, like something would click, Instead, it's felt disorientating, like the ground shifted and I'm still trying to find my feet. Listening to this podcast during the night feeds has been the first time I felt normal again. Like maybe I'm not broken. Maybe this is just part of being a mum. So thank you for saying the quiet parts out loud. It's made the long nights feel a little less lonely. From a very tired mum trying to find herself again. Oh, hi. Thanks for writing in. I am glad that this has helped you realise that whatever you're going through is not strange or weird, or that you're wrong for feeling any of these emotions. I think motherhood is a huge, huge transition. And there is a book about it called Matrescence, which is well worth a read, because we all talk about adolescence, but we don't talk about matrescence, which is becoming a mother. The hormone shifts, the mind shifts, the body shifts that we go through. No wonder we all feel a bit upside down sometimes. And there's various levels of this. There's feeling a bit mixed up, there's feeling a bit emotional, but then there is more serious feelings like postnatal depression, postnatal anxiety. So it's important, like you have done, to identify how you're feeling and talk about it. I always say it's important to talk to someone when you're feeling overly emotional or overly down. I think we all feel emotional, of course, as new mums. But if you're feeling overly emotional and overly down, like you're grieving your old life, then definitely speak to someone. And feeling lost doesn't mean you've lost yourself forever. It usually means you're in the middle of becoming a mum and a kind of a newer version of yourself. And it doesn't mean that the old person isn't still there. But becoming a mum is a transition that we all go through, and you don't have to enjoy every moment to be a good mom. I think that's really something we need to think about. Like, there's so much online about how we should be really grateful in every moment, we should be in bliss, and when we look back when we're old, we'll miss these times, so we have to enjoy it. But surviving the hard moments really counts as well. It's not all sunshine and roses. And like me last night, I was in despair at 3 a.m. I was like, please sleep. And you feel like your face is falling off. That's how I felt. And that isn't a high, is it? That's quite a low. But we keep going and we appreciate that we all feel those tough times. And if today felt heavy or tonight feels heavy, it doesn't mean tomorrow will. And I think early motherhood is about being in the moment. Being in the moment right now and not being too far ahead. So right now I'm recording this podcast with a baby breastfeeding on me. And I'm thinking in about half an hour I need to pick up my middle child from nursery. That's all I'm thinking right now. I'm not thinking that the floor around me is absolute chaos with toys, or that the laundry has just beeped and I need to empty it. You need to be in the moment, and you need to not fixate on the bigger things, like you can't get on top of your house, or that you're missing your old person, or that you are struggling with trying to keep on top of the laundry, like I was talking about earlier. I think it's about being in the here and now and accepting that this season is chaotic, but it's beautiful as well. And just a reminder that if you do feel really low and you catch yourself feeling really negative, then get help. Talk to somebody. There is plenty of help for new mums out there if you can find it. Wherever you live, there will be someone you can speak to. And there is help available, and it's really important that you get that, because you shouldn't have to go through motherhood and every day feeling really, really low. So thanks for your letter. I really hope that you are feeling better today, and I hope that maybe living in the moment and just taking the small wins each day, even if that's your morning coffee, and the fact that you and the baby got dressed today and you put a little bit of makeup on and you feel better for it, is a win. Okay. Next email says, back to work next week. Hi, I've been listening to you during the night feeds, and I thought I'd finally write in because I'm carrying this heavy knot in my chest and I don't know where else to put it. I go back to work on Tuesday next week. My baby will be 3 months old the day he starts daycare. And honestly, it just feels too soon. I'm so deeply sad at the thought of handing him over and walking back into a corporate 9 to 5 that I never loved to begin with. It feels cruel that this is how it works. Like our little bubble has an expiry date. I know people say you'll adjust and it'll be good for him, and maybe it will, but right now it feels like grief. Grief for the days that were just us, for the slow mornings, for being his whole world for a little longer. America really does make this part harder than it needs to be. We deserve more time. That's a whole other conversation. Right now I'm clinging to our evenings. He goes to bed between 8 and 9:30, and I know that's considered late, but it feels like the only time we get a chance to be together. Once I'm back at work, by the time we're home, fed and settled, the idea of rushing him to bed just breaks my heart. I guess I'm wondering what other parents are doing. What time are your babies going down? What's worked for you? Are we the only ones stretching bedtime just to steal a little more closeness? I'm not really looking for fixes. I think I just needed to say out loud that I'm not ready for this chapter to end and that I'm scared of how fast it all feels. Thank you for making space for these feelings. Listening has made the nights less lonely. From a mum not ready to let go of the bubble. Oh gosh, I can understand how going back to work can feel like grief, especially at 3 months. It makes complete sense to mourn of the end of your bubble. I mean, it doesn't mean it's the end of your bubble, because whenever you have your baby, you will still be in that bubble and you still will be their world. But I completely empathize with what you're going through, especially at 3 months. It's okay to be angry about how short maternity leave is, particularly in America where you're writing from. Wanting more time with your baby isn't weakness or lack of ambition or anything like that. It is biology and attachment. And you're not asking for too much. And I wish I could have a magic wand that I wave that gave every woman in the world at least a year to be with a baby before they go back to work. Because I think that is necessary. But you're in this position where you have to go back and you don't have to change what's working just because others say you should. So if you have a later bedtime because that works for you, that's okay. My kids sometimes go to bed at 8:30. Be graceful with yourself. There's so much noise. There's so much noise and opinion. All you have to do is go on Instagram for 5 minutes and you're told 10 different opinions by 10 different psychologists and 3 different mums. And oh my goodness, the noise that you can carry with you throughout your day because some psychologist said if you don't put your baby to bed at 7, they'll break. It's like, no. Do what works for you. You know your child. If you want to stretch out bedtime because you want to spend more time with your baby, then that is completely fine. You're going back to work now, so you need to be very kind to yourself. And you need to not carry this guilt. You need to realise that this is your position and anything you can do to give yourself grace is good. So if you want to have an 8:30 bedtime and play with your baby for those few hours when you get in, do that. Don't listen to what people say. Don't listen to opinions. You have to be really strong now and do what is best for you in terms of looking after that baby. I'm sending you so much love because I completely empathise with how you're feeling. I think there needs to be changes, but like you say, that's a whole other topic of discussion. And you need a support system around you right now, I'd say. I think you need to talk about how you're feeling, whether you can talk to HR at your work, wherever you work, and say, this is a big transition for me. I am going to find it a little bit difficult and I maybe could do with some more support. I don't know how that looks, but whether that's maybe working from home a bit more, talk to your partner, your friends, your parents, anyone you have around you, and get them to kind of give you the motivation that you need and the support you need, because it is a big transition. And I hope your first day goes well. I would just I think when you become a mum, everything outside of your baby is noise in a way. And I think I've heard people saying when they go back to work, things that bothered them before a baby don't. And I was a worrier pre-kids. I don't worry now. As long as my kids are all right, I'm all right. So I reckon when you go back to work, there's things you used to sweat at work, you won't anymore. You'll just think, right, well, that's that. And yeah, I really hope this helps. I don't know how else to advise other than just say to you, be kind to yourself and parent that baby however makes you feel good in terms of your bond and your connection with that baby. Don't listen to all the noise. And I hope it all goes well for you. Next tonight is what's trending. And I came across an advert from Northern Ireland on TikTok, I think it was, which I thought was quite a really good example of the impact of posting our kids on social media. And it was a mum and a daughter walking through a shopping centre. And the daughter looked about 8. And they're going up an escalator, and this random man comes down the escalator and says, "Oh, hi, Ava. Happy birthday for Sunday. You were 8, weren't you?" And the little girl's like, "Huh?" And then she gets to the top of the escalator, and a man says to her, "Oh, hey, Ava, I saw you started back at swimming lessons. I hope they're going well. I know you weren't keen, but stick at it. It'll be good for you." And the mum's like, "Do you know him?" And she's like, "No." And then another lady says, "Oh, hi, Ava. I saw you got that new toy you wanted." And it's really, really powerful because, particularly for influencers with children, I think it may make them, well, this whole conversation around posting children online at the moment, I think is going to cause some ripples because there's also, you've probably seen in the news this week, the news story around Grok and the AI images that are being created by sickos, let's just say, and the lack of censorship around them, the lack of Grok or the AI system saying, "Hey, no, we can't create that. Let's report you to the police," is sick. It's absolutely sick, creating these deep fakes of women and minors. And I think that is adding fuel to the fire of, let's really think before we share images of ourselves even and our children. I've always been quite a proponent for not sharing. And that's my opinion. That's completely my opinion. And I saw this theory, it was in a forum, and it said, if you're not willing to frame the picture and put it on your mantelpiece, don't share it on social media. And it really, I thought that was quite a powerful way of saying it, the mantelpiece theory, because you do get people out there that will share pictures of the kids in hospital or the kids first poo on a potty, and someone was saying there was an influencer documenting a daughter starting a period. And I think, oh, dear God, like, come on, guys, what's going on? And I thought this advert was really a powerful way of making the parent realise who's watching their child online. And I just thought it tied in with the whole Grok situation that's happened this week, giving people a real shake-up about the darker side to what's going on and what can happen online. So yeah, just food for thought there. But it's just sick, isn't it? That a tool is created and there is people out there that use it for really, really sick, horrible things. And it's just a sad side of the world, isn't it? It's a sad side of the world that we live in. And it's just really worth, it's just shook me as a mother, I think, seeing what's being done with AI. And yeah, just a heads up if you haven't really seen much of that. Next tonight is my self-care tip. And tonight it is try giving yourself 1 screen-free hour a day, especially during a feed or a contact nap. Just no scrolling, no updates, no comparisons, just you, your baby, and the moment you're in. Even if you read a book or watch telly. I don't know. That's screen, I know, but come off your phone for an hour a day if you can. Because it's so easy to feed the baby and pick up your phone. And then you think, what have I done with that 20 minutes? I've just been sat on Instagram reading rubbish. So, yeah, give yourself and your mind that break. I'm really going to start reading on my feeds. My mum got me a book the other day. I'm just going to put that next to me on the sofa so that when I sit down to feed or be with the kids or let them play while I have 5, I'll pick up the book instead of my phone. Finally, to finish on a quote I wrote, there'll be days when we just do nothing. The TV will stay on, the dishes will stay in the sink, we'll stay in our PJs. You'll think you've dropped the ball. How could I be so lazy? You'll say to yourself as you hold me. You'll think of all the things you need to do. You'll see the other kids at the beach or going to the new play centre that's just opened, and the guilt you'll feel will consume you. But know this, the days we stay still are some of my favourite. I'm content, I'm warm, and home in your arms. You're doing wonderfully, Mama. We all need slow days. Thank you for listening this evening. I hope you're all okay. I hope you're getting more sleep than I am at the moment. And I wish you all a restful, peaceful night ahead. Oh, and keep your emails coming in, thenightfeedpodcast@gmail.com. Good night.